What's up, everybody? I'm George Mossey. I'm here with my co-host Heather C. in 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 6, Episode 7 aired last night. And there was some drama that we're going to talk about and unpack and try and process with you guys. So let's just jump right in. So Brandon and Julia go to Ron's 70th birthday party, which was planned by Betty, the most overbearing mother ever. And it's a double theme party that they have no idea that the second theme is about them. It's not just about them. The minister from their actual wedding was there, and I guess he was going to remarry them for the guests, and they weren't even aware. So I got some mixed reviews on Twitter. Some people said that they were brats for being angry at Betty, and then a lot of people said that Betty was completely off limits. So I'm gonna throw Heather C right now into the wolves, and I'm gonna ask her, how do you feel? Whose side are you on?
Can I be like in the middle?
Okay.
The reason why I say that is because, first of all, his parents are older and it's his dad's birthday.
Yeah.
I feel as though he could have held his anger in until his birthday was over. Because I don't know about everyone here, but I don't want anybody ruining my birthday. It comes once a year and you don't get a do-over. So I feel like out of courtesy, he could have at least held in his feelings and maybe the next day say, Dad, Mom, can I talk to you for a second? You were kind of, out of line. I understand, we'll say that, I understand where Brandon and Julia's frustration is, because when somebody says, I don't want it, I don't want it.
It's exactly what that means.
I kind of feel like they acted out of emotion and not sense. So I don't know, but we've seen a lot from their parents, and we know that they poke that bear. So that's probably a lot of it.
The frustration from the viewers is because we've seen the way Betty has been overbearing in the past. This particular situation, I think everybody was going in on her for. This wasn't as bad as some of the things she's done in the past, but as you add up the different ways that she's overbearing in her son's life, this is just another
notch on the belt.
Exactly. And then another thing that bothered me, and then we're going to not even touch on Brandon and Julia anymore, but Ron kind of scolded Brandon for saying that he wanted to move out, and even discouraged him and tried to tell him that it was impossible for him to be able to move out. As a parent, I feel like it's Ron's responsibility to encourage his children, encourage his son, and just know if things don't work out, I'm here for you. But to discourage him from even trying to leave, I thought that was the wrong thing to do.
Brandon's a grown adult, and he walked down the aisle and got married and did big boy things.
Yes.
So how are you going to act as of an adult in your parents' house with rules and chores and being scolded and everything? It's just, that whole family is all over the place. So I don't know.
It's very Bates Motel. So let's talk about a very, very awkward trip to a sex shop. So
we could skip this.
Basically, we spent time with Asuelo and Kalani in a sex shop before his huge situation where he had this special event plan, which we're going to talk about later. But they go to the sex shop and they go get the toys to make their trip better, which is super awkward in itself. Shout out to the girl who worked at the shop. She was so awesome and helpful with them, and I can't imagine having to talk to strangers about those type of things. So Kalani's mother was there on the trip, and she had to endure some pretty wild things in the car. Asuelo keeps talking about toys in the car, and he's telling the girl at the front desk at the cabin place about what they're going to be doing. It was just such an awkward episode. I feel like Asuelo doesn't know what TMI is. He always gives way more information than we need. But I did feel like this trip was good for them. There was a lot of good communication that went on the trip.
Yeah, we could have done without seeing all that. I think that they're more so using them as a space filler for their show, because either that or they don't know where they want their storyline to go. You can't go from 1 minute in, the immigration lawyer's office trying to see what your options are for divorce to being madly in love and, whatever. I mean, I commend them for trying to spice up their marriage and try something new, and we knew that anything that comes from Asuelo was going to be awkward and all over the place. But I don't know, I'm trying to follow this and keep up, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know where to go with it.
I want them to work because they have
I do
two
too. Yeah.
adorable little kids who need them to make it work.
Yeah.
And I feel like in their culture, especially with actually both, with Asuelo and her dad Lo, it's not really an option for you to just give up. And I feel like they are putting in that extra try. I just really want it to work, but it almost seems awkward for Kalani as well, just like it feels awkward for us. And I just want to know, is this something real for them? Is this something that they can actually make work? Because a trip to Samoa and getting pregnant is one thing, but making an actual lifetime marriage work with this guy is going to be really hard because he hears what he wants to hear, he does what he wants to do, and he's not really open to doing anything differently.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Tiffany and Ronald. So I know everyone is sick of this because Tiffany is not trying to go to South Africa to live. Ronald is trying to get her over there. So the borders have opened at this point in time, and Ronald wants them to come for Christmas. But it's not just for Christmas. It's a 3-month trip. He wants them to come for Christmas and stay for 3 months. Tiffany is already done. She's like, there's no possible way I'm going to go there for 3 months. I've tried this. It's not going to work. I don't want my kids to be there. I don't feel like it's safe. But she is open to the idea of going there and kind of feeling out how Ronald is living. It's a test that he doesn't know that he's being tested on. She wants to see how he's working, how he's interacting, how he's handling his financial responsibilities, how he's keeping his apartment. And then this is going to be the final test of whether or not she'll actually bring him here, given he passes the interview, because we did see the way he answered the questions. But, I mean, what do you think about giving people tests that they don't know they're taking?
I mean, this is supposed to be a marriage. It's supposed to be trust and commitment. And clearly we know that she doesn't feel that way about him. I feel that this is a very expensive test. I feel that there's probably other ways she could do it. I mean, if you have to go to another country just to observe how someone is acting, when you know the answer, you know the answer. It's just like, why? If you don't want to go, just say, hey, I don't want to go.
Yes.
And if they don't respect it or they do, then you know where they stand. But why would you sit there and waste a trip and time knowing that you know what the answer is already for what you're looking for? I mean, he's very relaxed, very comfortable with what he's doing. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't be a good dad. I'm not saying that he wouldn't step up if, but he wasn't really granted the opportunity because as long as we've known him, he's been in his country.
Yeah, he's been there, the baby's been here.
And I look at it this way, and everybody's gonna hate me for this, but if they'll let Andre come here, I'm sure they could let Ronald come here.
I don't see, because again, Ronald has never been convicted of anything. He's been arrested and charged, never convicted of a crime. And I think that people are confused about that online because they're like, oh, all these things he's done. He's been arrested before, but guys, nothing has ever been convicted onto his record. So I feel like they're making a big deal about that in the interview and in the process, but I don't see how that's going to change anything. But I think, again, this is a classic case of two people wanting two completely different things from each other and not communicating that with each other. It's a classic case.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for part 1. We're going to come back and talk about part 2. We have to talk about Natalie and that crazy Thanksgiving situation and all of the other drama from last night. I'm going to put our Twitters and Instagrams at the bottom. Make sure you live tweet with us every week. There are so many amazing guys that were tweeting with me last week. And gals, I loved all your comments. I cannot wait to talk about even more of this with you guys in part 2.
And Marshana is in Tennessee with her husband and her beautiful little boy.
Yes.
So that's why I'm filling in for her. So I hope you guys are enjoying yourself and safe travels back home.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, John. And I'm George Mossey. This is Heather C. And we'll talk to you guys real soon.